Okie dokie. I think we are back in. So it's been a minute since the last video. I was laid up for a very long time. I would say close to 8 days. I had a health issue, cancer flare up thing from finishing some treatment. I didn't know if I was going to stay in the level of impairment that I was, but anyway, I'm here and I'm ready to talk about some motorcycles again. So I did a video with Jarrett, and this was back in February, and he had the Ninja 500R. We're putting the Yamaha front forks on, the YZ front forks on. Um, Still hadn't had the motor in yet, and it's progressed since then. If you follow on the Discord, the channel Discord is going to be in the link. You can look at this progress as I'm scrolling down on here. He's got the lighting. We go down to here. Jared, if you want to chime in, I've got it to the point where you're at putting the motor in on the bike, and then you've got the rally tower going in on the bike. And then I think at that point you turned it to life, basically, right? The Yamasaki.
Yeah. That day I had it. Um, I'm not sure exactly which picture, but I have pictures of the pink bike and everything side by
Yeah.
side. I have um, that day was after about a week pause on the build. That day, uh, pulled everything out of the garage, swept up my garage, and said, "All right, it's locking."
I remember you were like locking in at that moment too. And then you had like, okay, so I'm seeing the rally tower right here. And I'm sorry, my Windows is doing a little thing really quick. So yeah, I remember you had that, and then I've got the video running. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, so I just did a little clip for everybody of it running just so they can kind of hear it. It's got that tough sound. So it's the 500R motor, which is I can't remember offhand. What was the power rating on that?
Online, they're listed anywhere from like 52 to almost 60 horsepower.
Okay.
Um, in the spec that it's in, it should be right around 52 wheel horsepower.
And then you added
So,
the YZ front forks too. So if you like, what was the process for that? Like switching it to like normally people, I mean, I see them like do it on a dual sport, like a DR 650 or something like that. But is it kind of were you going through the same process with that, or was it way more modification involved?
so on sport bikes, like I don't know if you've ever seen like a police rodeo, but if you try to take a sport bike to like a police rodeo, you're gonna have a hell of a time because they don't have that lock to lock turning radius that
Yeah.
those bigger, standard fork bikes have. Um, so with, a sport bike type chassis, you need more clearance to get, the lock to lock that you need in a dirt bike, dual sport, whatever. So I had to weld, a full YZ tube section, um, spaced from the original like Ninja 500 headstock. It's about a half inch further out. There's a single plate, inside of it that gussets the YZ headstock to the Ninja headstock. And then there's two 5/16 gussets on either side of that on the outside. And then there's another 3/16 gusset going over the top of everything, tying everything back to the frame. And then there's one final band that runs from the left side of the 500 frame all the way around the front, welded over everything, tying everything back in.
Okay.
So it is not just a dual sport
It
or
wasn't.
a
Yeah,
sport bike with knobbies.
that's kind of something I was wanting to point out because I mean I know the transfers, like somebody throws a new front set of front forks on a dual sport, it's a lot less involved. But then I remember you got it running. I was actually looking at this picture right here. You're at it looks like y'all are coming off of a log road. And it's a log road that looks like it's coming off of maybe like a mountain and it's meeting a regular road. So you're going off road. You're with it looks like the KLR, the Tenere, and KTM 390 ADV. And so how is it measuring up riding? How is it hanging with this pack of the bikes?
At that point, there, I still had stock, fully preloaded Ninja 500 rear suspension, and a stock street rear tire.
Yeah, I
It's a
keep okay.
Michelin Pilot Street 2.
All right, yeah, I'm seeing that in the back, and then up front is the Tusk on there, or Pirelli. What?
Yeah, yeah. That
Oh,
the
the
front
Tusk.
was a worn down D Sport that I got for free
Okay.
off someone else just to
Alright.
put on there.
Amen. Amen. All right.
um,
So you're going, yeah. So y'all
but
were running log roads at that level right there, basically. And
yeah, yeah.
okay.
So that run, I've run that, the past 10 years. I grew up pretty much right at the top of that road.
And your
Um,
dive.
it's
Oh, go. I'm sorry. Go
it's
ahead.
real gnarly going up. It's a ascent the whole way up. It's about a 700 and so foot elevation change from
Oh
that point.
God.
Um,
With some heavy
it's
grade, huh?
oh yeah, yeah. It's all grade uphill. The runoff cuts halfway up. Where you can jump them, all that jazz. Going down was sketchy, but when we got to shoot back up it on the return route, um, it was a lot of fun. The rear definitely bounced around a lot, but since then,
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff have been fixed.
I'm showing. I'm gonna show this video clip for people that are gonna. Okay. Yeah. It's. It looks like it's standing up pretty easy in the video clip. But what were the adjustments on the rear that you've made so far? Like, what did you feel like you needed to make to get it to where it is right now? Like once you did that
So
ride.
I like flat out, I don't understand suspension geometry.
All right. That
um,
makes two of
that is a
us.
precursor in all of this post conversation that's about to happen.
Yeah, because if it's not on
um,
YouTube, I don't know how to do it, period. Like, like, I mean,
yeah,
so, like the guys like you that can figure it out on your own, you're still, that's like working on a spaceship compared to anything I know how to do. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
I had
Let me know what y'all were
two
doing.
real goals with it. Currently, with the Ninja 500 shock, I wanted a little bit more travel somehow. However, that had to work in the linkage. And then also with that more travel, I wanted, more ride height and being softer. So sort of had a couple of things I had to fight against each other because on most bikes, once you raise the ride height, the way I guess you alter the rear geometry makes the rear shock essentially stiffer. It's harder of a lever.
Yeah.
So raising the rear ride height with just lengths makes it stiffer, more or less. So that was strike one. Um, I essentially just have all the preload let out of the Ninja shock. I have the lower. I don't even know what mount they are per se, but the on the bottom of the swing arm where the linkage mounts, I had cut that off and moved it back about a half an inch. I don't know exactly what difference that made, but it is positive for off road.
Yes, 100. I see what you're saying. Okay, so and then the next, and you also have a DR 650 baby coming soon, don't you?
The DR bit? No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no.
I
The
thought y'all were going for the DR pretty soon too. Were you going for didn't you say your old lady was going to be adding a DR to this pretty soon to be riding with you?
She was trying to, but we just went through finances and everything, and right now
Right.
we're just gonna pay everything off and probably buy it outright next year instead of financing this year.
I'll probably have a Parabellum tall windscreen to send your way though for that. Um, dude, I'm seeing the tire on the back though that you put on, which yeah, okay, now yeah, that tire actually looks perfect on the back of there now. So yeah, that looks like y'all had a fun day, dude. And y'all aren't. It's not miserable hot up there either. Probably, I would imagine. So it's probably perfect riding weather to crack this thing out.
No, I'm actually gonna post a couple more pictures from today.
Okay.
Because I did a little more. I don't post or not post, but I don't take a lot of pictures mid ride.
Right.
Whenever we stop, I'm gonna take one or two, where we're at. But
Ah, nice.
um,
All
here's a
right.
couple more from today. I was out riding with another slightly different 500.
So yeah, this would be great to know. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, these are perfect. Okay, I saw one of these in Messenger. I remember distinctly. So this is what you're going through pretty easily with it.
Yeah, so most of today was all like really wet clay. We had ridiculous torrential downpours and microburst tornadoes up here last night. So
Jesus
we
Christ.
were running over, down logs all day.
How's the all right? I'm seeing it in like some like semi mud on this log road right here, and it stays pretty stable going through. Because I'm thinking in terms of my V Strom, it's somewhere between the DR and the V Strom. I'm guessing in terms of weight, about 400-ish pounds maybe.
Whenever I had it on the scale up at the dumps with
Hmm.
my tank bag sitting on it and X amount of fuel, not a full tank, 375 pounds.
Okay, so you're actually probably lighter than my DR then, because my DR's got the
I'm
rack.
probably punching in the same class as the DR.
That's freaking nuts. Okay, so it'd be my DR with another uh, almost 15 horsepower or so. Okay.
Um, 15 to 20, yeah.
Yeah, that's super noticeable. Okay, yeah, that thing will rip. So instead of waiting for like I know Kawasaki's gonna drop that KLE 500 soon, but honestly, I can't see it being in the same amount of weight. You know what I'm saying? And there's so
No,
much.
it's gonna punch around the 430 to 450 pound range, if not more, just
Yeah.
because if they make it too light, they're gonna have to kill the KLR again.
Yeah, it'll cannibalize itself. One bike, that's it's our everybody's like what is the Ibex 450 that's got everybody like all hot and bothered. But I think I would actually dodge that one. But I think that's what they're going after. But yeah, they got to be careful not to cannibalize KLR cells. But yeah, the reason I say not to go after the Ibex is simply like if my YouTube views, I look at my YouTube and my highest views are actually things I've done on KTM products. And so, you know, I don't know. I'd be kind of hesitant with the CF Moto, but I'll be more interested to see what they do with this KLE and see how it performs.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said in round one of this video series, they're fighting that A2 regulation.
That's true. The power to weight. Yeah,
Oh
they have to
yeah.
fight the A2. So I'm drifting off a little bit, but anyway, dude, I'm glad to see it running. I'm glad you got it up on here, and I'm glad you're out on it today. So we'll drop back in, maybe take like a month or so, and just get another update on the bike. But I completely appreciate it. I'm more than anything, thanks again to everybody. 603 subscribers at the time of this video, and I'm starting to lose the chemo funk. It's starting to go away a little bit. You can kind of still see that it's there. Um, do still somewhat lose track of what I'm saying from time to time, but there is going to be more bike material. I am also going to start making the DR650 an off-road oriented bike. Before it was more of a universal commuter type bike, and now it's going to start shifting to more off-road. The V-Strom, even though it has the Kendas on it, is going to go to more on-road. And Jared, man, I appreciate Jarrett, sorry. I appreciate you popping in, dude, and we'll catch up soon, brother.
All right, cheers, man.
All right, take it easy.